Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Rao uh, coming on a Saturday morning. Welcome, welcome, everybody. I opened on all the channels today. Hello, Ellen. How are you? Um, I've been doing this series on uh, burnout of the doctors, but actually, it's burnout for everybody. Whoever is exposed to this information overload, social media, and a lot of work we have to do involved with the data, and that is becoming too much. And many of us are burning out due to this overload of information. So it is applicable to everybody, but because I happen to know what it feels as a doctor, the heavy workloads, the very little time to relax and also to take care of oneself has become a norm in the life of a doctor and the nurse and the pharmacist and all the healthcare workers, as a matter of fact. So I may lean towards that, but it doesn't mean that other people are not burning out or other people not having the same problems. It's about the same thing: how we handle ourselves, how we handle all this information that's coming at us. So I was making some videos just to be, putting all my thoughts together and making them a video format. I love that video communication because it tells so much more than all your words and everything, right? So I pinned a link on the Clubhouse, the burnout of doctors, balancing heavy workloads and personal life. How do you? This is a problem for everybody, right? We want to balance our personal life and our work life. That's a general thing, I think. Many people do in many different ways. And The more mature you are, the more wise you are, the better you can balance that. For me, the balance come from within. So first achieve the balance inside, and then outward will be good. For example, what kind of work we want to do, we want to choose, depends upon what is the understanding of ourselves, of the world, and our role in it, what you want to do with it, right? um, there are few people who are lucky that they could get to do what they love to do. That's a very ideal situation. But you can also always turn whatever you do, you can learn to love it and learn to give it meaning, and thereby you have adjusted yourself to the external circumstances from your inner orientation, right? So suppose you say, whatever it is, I'm going to serve, I'm going to give my bit, a little bit to the world and to the welfare of the world. Whatever it could be. It could be just making a screw to being a doctor or being an engineer, whatever, right? So it's the mental adjustment, it's an inner adjustment that we do, can come out in our work as we are contented, satisfied people, and we're striving for our excellence in whatever we do, and we're giving it all. That kind of thing can bring about the balance between what is inside you and what is outside. And then you may have priorities like my family is my priority, my work is my priority, my children are my priority, or what I believe as a cause is my priority, like that. Once those things are sorted out within yourself, and then you are directing all your energy towards that, then automatically outward life also will be in the balance. So this can happen in a doctor, where we can come and say, I'm going to help my patient. That's my main goal. And that's why I'm here. That's the purpose I have here. That is where doctors are demoralized, because somebody else is an authority now, the middleman, than the patient or the physician. It used to be Patient trusted the physician, and physician felt professionally obligated to give the best of his ability to the patient, right? Then he could choose the medications he want, he could choose the hospitalization he want, he could really help them with a lot of time that is spent just talking to them, that kind of thing. Nowadays the patients are admitted for a diagnosis, and then you are supposed to keep them only for a few days only, and then you have to kick him out whether how is improved or not, because the insurance company doesn't pay. And they are not allowing you to sit with the patient and communicate, because that is too much time. They want every patient to be seen within 17 minutes, something like that, arbitrary, so they are interfering in a major way about how to provide patient care to a patient by the doctors, and that is really demoralizing a lot of doctors. So how do you adjust that is, you got to really go back to your spirit of service, go back to giving, and then understanding the bureaucratic situation, and raise up to it when it is needed, and fight with the insurance company for the sake of patient. If you have done that, and beyond that it's not in your hand, because patient has agreed to have this rationalization of care, then patient has taken those kind of rights away from you. So you have to understand all that and then work with it. So all that is needed is here inner understanding of the situation and responding with whatever we can do without really feeling responsible for the restrictions or all that. So that will really help us to do the best we can do with what is provided for us. That kind of thing. I'm not saying compromise with the insurance companies. Fight on the behalf of the patient, but there will be a point when the patient has signed something with the insurance company that makes them provide only this much care, that not beyond that. So that's the general situation, but anybody else also can be like that. How can I view the world? What's my relationship with my work atmosphere? What is my relationship with my family, with my near ones, friends, and all that? Once you are understanding your inner self and then modify that, then what comes out of you is going to take care of the external situations. So that's me, that's how I think and I operate. First attend to myself, to my inward self, and clarify my vision, clarify my duties, clarify why I'm here, and all that, and then accept the things that I can change, I cannot change, and then really work for the things. If I can change, I will change, I will stick with it, that kind of thing. So that's how I come from in a major way, how you balance the personal life and also the work. For me, as a matter of fact, there's no difference between the two. I don't feel like I'm going away for the work with trepidation or hesitance or regret. I go there willingly because I love to do the patient care work. Okay, that's good. If I don't go, on the telly also the same thing. Or if I'm talking on a room like this, the same thing. The intention is serve the people who are burning out with whatever we can help, or we can listen, or we can learn from them. So that's why I always say first have the balance, clarity within, inside, and then come out with work that is really in congruence with your values, with your understanding, and with your major goals in life. Okay, this is not happening because uh, the money comes in the middle. Say the healthcare is made into a commodity, right? As it is a commodity, it is kind of had so many restrictions, so many things that we cannot do, or will be punished if we do some things too. That adds up stress and burnout for the doctors too. Uh, about the family also, if you communicate them totally, and then if they really understand what you are doing and why you are doing, they will cooperate too much. For example, I handled my wife and children when I had this huge big practice Actually, we were lucky because my wife worked for me and then she was the billing manager. So we both went in the same car. We went to the lunch together and then we came home most of the time together. But sometimes I had to go to the hospital, then she was able to go on her own. That worked out better for us, but she knew what I'm doing all the time, where I'm going and all that. Not that because she's a controlling or anything, but she's a very gentle, very patient woman. But I felt it is my duty to let her know what's going on with whatever I do. Suppose lots of times I flew out of town for the conferences, Washington, Seattle, so many places I went there, right? When I go there, also she knows I was there. I was doing this everyday activities, so we kind of kept in close touch of what is going on. Then, what the advantage of that is, there was no chance of misunderstanding. So you do whatever you can do to communicate continuously, and that becomes a habit. My staff, for example, they knew exactly what my itinerary is for the month, where I'm going to be, when I'm getting short vacation breaks, when I'm going to covering for other doctors. They knew all of that. So they have no misunderstanding of where I am, what I am doing, and how they can reach me. So that kind of comfort level of communication really helped me a lot. Okay, for example, there are patients in the hospital, and I knew who are the nurses taking care of those patients, right? So I'm in complete communication with them. That way, they understand what my plans for the patients are, where I'm going to be, how I can be reached, and all of that. That made their life easy because they could reach me right away, and then with that I was able to communicate with them what I want to do for the patient. That kind of, so what I'm saying is communication. Okay, what you want, what you are doing, if you communicate with your important ones in your life, I think things go much smoother. And also, you can recruit them in executing your vision, your work patterns, your kind of breaks you take, and all that. That way they knew. And also, they knew my stress reduction programs right from the beginning, right? So they understood these programs, and they could come to me if they are personally stressed out. And the staff could come to me, walk into my room right away, and then tell me this is what's going on. And a lot of them are young women who are really raising children. So they have practical problems that they cannot come certain days or they cannot be there, all those things, right? So what I did was I kind of accommodated them when their greatest need without asking many questions. That kind of make them feel like comfortable, and they worked better on the times when they were here because they were grateful that they were let go when they needed that time. So that they appreciated it. Okay, so that kind of needs communication, attending to the needs also important. The same thing goes in the hospital. If you go and if you have colleagues, if you have nursing staff, and everybody is working for you, what you want to do is you want to really understand these people are having their own problems and needs, and be available for them to come in. Okay, so it's a question of communication that's very, very important. People can really understand you better. The more they understand, the less stress you have. You don't have to explain to them later on. So I always spend a lot of time in that angle too. So the first one is have the balance within and bring it out for external things. Second one is communication. Always be in communication with the important people in you, like your patient, your nurse, your wife, and everybody like that, so they understand what is going on with you. I find a lot of doctors who come and say, I'm burned out. They really take it for granted that, oh, my wife should understand me, my nurse should know about this and all. No, they will not know unless you tell them, you verbalize what your needs are, what your expectations are, what your limitations are. Okay, those kind of things. And then taking care of yourself, that's I talk a lot about, because once you in the morning you take care of yourself and you are ready for the day, you know. But lots of times I see people don't do a particular routine in the morning that will keep them, really oriented to the present, and having an agenda about the patients, and really understanding what is what, and then giving the itinerary like that, so early morning, first 1 hour or a half hour, devote to yourself at least 45 minutes, so that you can exercise, you can exert yourself. It's like a kneading the body, and then oxygenating it with deep breathing and being aware and in the present, so that you are meditative without really sitting down and meditation, because you are in the present, you are dealing with what is happening here and now. That itself is a meditative awareness that you can practice through the day, which I do. Okay, so that's why it's very easy for me to handle several tasks, but not all at the same time, one task at a time, complete attention to that. That also brings balance into your work life, into your personal life too. So complete attention to every task that you do is the other one too. And then getting something from the work, like for example, you went to give rather than asking something in return, that will go a long way. So be a giver, be somebody like the sun giving sunshine, not asking anything. That's the analogy that is used in yoga. Like you have to be a giving spirit without expecting anything in return. I know this goes against the conventional, what is in it for me, and also I have to get something return, otherwise I'm a sucker. All those things are there. But if you really truly give and see what happens, how good you feel. Okay, so these are all various aspects of handling um, work life and the personal life in a balanced way. Okay, so bring it from within you, bring it your giving nature, service nature, and communication is very good. All these things are very important when we are dealing with any job, any work, any profession, but more so in this patient care, because we deal with the lives of the patient. So we want to be at the top, so that we will be there for them for a long time to working for them. Unfortunately, nobody is paying attention to this burnout as much as they should, or correctly. I believe all the thought based systems that if they say rules and then maybe are not working, but awareness based systems of ancients really worked for me, and that's what I always tell people to. So it's not like a religious thing, it's more like a what is practical, what is it that we can do that is easy. For example, for me, in the morning when I stretch and deep breathe and focus here and now, that goes a long way for the day. Okay, and I don't put on these devices right away. Half an hour I kind of put them away, and then I open it up. Okay, and also I don't want to carry them continuously. I want to use them strategically, but also there are times when you're completely free of them, so that I can empty my mind. So that's also important too. This is the way this series is going to go. We'll have so many videos and so many different topics of burnout will be explored. And I have not done yet, but I'm going to invite a lot of doctors that may be interested in this problem, and they can bring their own expertise, experience, or solutions, or ask us solutions, whatever it is. Active engagement of them, I will be trying hard to get them in. And meanwhile, these are all general talks I'm doing. Yesterday, I kind of did on service mindedness, and today I'm doing both the balance in the personal and work life. Okay, hopefully that helps people, and then I hope people can get more people into listening to this. I'm sure a lot of people listen to my tapes afterwards in the replays. That's also okay. But I am determined to come on every day and deliver my piece and see where it goes. Okay. Um, any questions or anything, you can come up and ask me. Then I will be able to answer them. I think somebody here, let's see, James. Hi. Hello, James.
Hey, what's up, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about this burnout of doctors, and that has become a real problem. And that's why I'm kind of
Mm.
presenting
I
my
mean,
viewpoint.
like, work-life balance.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I've always struggled with that thing.
yeah. For me, the internal thing, I want our inner clarity, inner vision, inner
Mm,
tenacity, that kind of thing I work on, and I bring that to the work. So
mm,
I don't approach work as separate from my family life, you know. So that's why it's like
yeah,
easy for me to handle that way. Yeah,
sure, yeah,
yeah,
yes. I'm still like struggling with it.
yeah,
Yeah, sometimes I tend to go far in the work side.
yeah,
I leave so much like behind me in terms of my family and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, so
the-
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I'm still like trying to work it out and
yeah,
find the sweet spot between them all.
yeah. See, I was also talking about communication, like how I did it with my wife and kids, because being a doctor can be very busy. I'm also involved in
Yes.
so many things in the hospital too, with the informatics and all that too. But my team and my wife, they always knew where I am, what I am doing, and all that. So they understood and they kind of cooperated with that because they knew some of things I take up are not for me selfish, but more like a service to the community, right? So people understood and then they kind of communicated better with that, you know. That kind of thing also worked for me, you know. So that's what I was mentioning there earlier. You know what happened to James? He disappeared. Uh, so maybe the connection that's not good, you know. Um, so that's what we are going to end up today. Is almost half an hour. That's what I planned today. Being a Saturday, so many things are lined up too. But more people will be invited actively, and I have not done that so far. But once I figure out the process and do that, I'm sure people who are interested will be here, and then we will have a lively discussion. All these years, what I was doing is I come whenever I have the time, and I was doing the talks. But now I can uh, really arrange my time better with this one. Okay. So with that, I will take leave for today, and I'll come back again tomorrow. Thank you. Hi, Gary.
Hi, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, Gary. How are you?
I am phenomenal. I'm phenomenal.
Very
I'm
good.
just here to support your room
Yeah.
because I do believe it is a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just before I get into some comments I want to make on the topic, which is Burnout of Doctor, how are you finding the book so far?
How are I finding what?
The book. I thought you would have got a copy of the book, Master the Sales Communication
Oh,
Process.
yeah. Yeah, I just started, Gary, but I did not finish it because I was
No
always,
problem. No
always,
problem. I just want to be certain that you got it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got it. It is on this screen with all the other tabs opened up. So I want to not to forget it. That's why I keep it on the tabs there, so that I can get to that. Yeah, it's very
Awesome, awesome.
interesting.
All
Yeah,
right, when you're true real talk, we have a mastermind group that is helping all of our
yeah.
persons that purchase to enter our mastermind group so we can do practical training so you're able to apply the concept to the business.
Yeah, yeah. See, I'm more like
Yeah,
I've been more like a professorial, just coming and talking about what I am learning, what could be useful, more like in a spirit of service. I gave it away. So
yes,
it's very difficult for me to be salesy because it's not in my blood, but probably that's what I need to know. My sales is more like this: how can I reach more people with what I learned from both the medicine and also ancient wisdom, that's helping me to keep healthy at 69 years old. I don't have any medications and I do a lot of
yeah,
things. I got into this AI, learned a lot of new things because of that. So I just want to tell them how to live completely as a human being, employing all our faculties. That I want
yeah,
to more people
yeah,
to
beautiful.
understand that and then adopt them. I don't want them to follow me blindly, but take those concepts and then investigate, and if they find the truth in it, then apply them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I agree. Beautiful. I really love what you said.
yeah,
Just coming back to the topic,
yeah,
I do believe that the profession of a doctor
yeah,
and the nature of being a doctor, a doctor that is in high demand,
yeah,
I do believe you can become easily burned out because at the initial stage, it's very hard to delegate when you are the subject matter expert,
yeah,
especially in your field. It's hard to delegate.
yeah,
It may take you, quite some time uh, to build a team up
yeah, definitely.
to then delegate out those responsibilities. But I do believe that perhaps, from my perspective, what can help that doctor
Mm.
to avoid burnout is if doctors can learn, apply, and master what I call management principles,
Yeah, yeah,
where the overall focus
hmm,
is on the solution.
yeah,
The overall focus also is on building a team
mm.
that can help to apply a particular method that is going to lead to a
Yeah,
particular end result. So train up that team will take some time.
yeah,
And I think once that team is trained, what it does, it allows you
yeah,
to possibly just pull back from that day-to-day activities, and you can now focus on the bigger
yeah,
issues, the bigger solutions.
yeah,
And as you find them, you have your team that is, executing on the
yeah.
vision that you have in terms of bringing,
Team
high
building,
tech
Gary,
technical support to people. Yeah,
in my clinic, what happened was we are small clinic competing with a hospital, right? Hospital pays a lot more money than the clinic can pay. But we used to
yeah,
bring young girls and then train them, and then after they trained and they learned everything, they used to dump us and go to the hospital. So it was a very difficult thing to
yeah,
maintain the team. So I had to really take personal interest in them and then ask them what their true goals are in their life and what they want to be down the line. I was supporting them, paying the tuition or giving incentives like that to keep them in. And they somehow they stayed at least with me 2 years at the most or at the least. Some people stayed for 5 to 10 years, but most of them 2 years average. That is much better
yeah.
than other clinics that literally they're training in 2 months, and third month they are losing the people. So, but what you said about team building is very, very valid, very
Yeah,
important.
and
Yeah,
you make a good point. We have observed that too.
yeah,
When the institution is small, it means that the institution don't have,
yeah,
strong ambience and strong aesthetics.
yeah,
And many persons want to go to the bigger institution because they have more appeal. They perceive that they have greater job
yeah,
security. They have more opportunity to climb the corporate ladder.
Yeah.
and a range of different things. So
Yeah.
smaller entities, because they don't have all of the
Yeah.
disposable income. It's to build buildings that has strong appeal,
Yeah.
attract the best team and all of that.
Yeah.
They're at a disadvantage.
See,
But there are ways, yeah, there
nowadays
are
we don't have
ways,
the small clinics that much. We are all working in the hospitals because hospitalist program and all that, right? So in the
yeah,
hospitalist program, manage a team because the patient care team, the therapists, the nursing, the pharmacy, the speech therapy, all those people together forms a team, and that's also mostly virtual because you are doing on the EMR work and they pick it up and they do it, and the communication also happens with the EMR. So to have some kind of sense of team is very difficult unless you have some personal contacts and all that too. What you are saying is very true in a microcosmic way in the hospital also. Even though it's a big, eventually it comes down to one department, one particular team, and we have to nurture them. You know what my trump card was? I always focused on people's internal environment, how they are feeling, how they are approaching, what their values are. And I developed a program called Human Enhancement from Within. So I kind of had that intimacy inward with my team members and really attended to their inner needs a little bit because of my knowledge about the ancient wisdom and all that. That really helped me a lot to be liked, and also to really come and delegated work is taken by me for me, and they did it for me. So they left me free for the most important things I need to do, and all the scut work they did it for me.
mm, great, great. I really love that.
Yeah.
You get your team to do that introspection,
Yeah.
to know what they want, where they want to go, and
Yeah.
you build out your corporate culture
Yeah.
around that. I think that's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, in in the book also, I think it's volume 2 or 3, we also talk about that. Because the employees are coming to the organization, and many of them
I lost you there, Gary. You're cut off.
are managing
Mm.
our entity in a way that is sensitive to the needs of the employees.
Yeah.
That's going to help to reduce absenteeism. It's going to help to reduce staff
Yeah.
turnover. It's going to help you to have a highly motivated workforce that
Yeah.
are there committed to drive the success of the business. So I do believe that there are some solutions, but I'm just here to support your room. I really love
Yeah.
what you do. And, I saw you open the room, so I said, I have to come and support you here this morning.
Thank you, Gary. One example I will tell you I employed very successfully was when my practice was at the peak, and then we have a lot of patients from morning till evening. We are a river city. We are on the Mississippi,
Yeah.
so we have a lot of beautiful gardens here. One big garden where you can have 100 picnic areas if you want to. That kind of beautiful place it was. So on the busy day, what I did was, without girls asking me, I ordered some food and then drove to the uh, garden in the middle of the day of the 1 hour lunch break we have. That I definitely wanted them to take unless there's an emergency, right? And then we took that break, and that break revived the girls like anything. And they were very happy to get out and have some lunch outside, and so they were treated. And then they took that, and the next 2 3 hours they produced the maximum productivity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that kind of things work
yeah.
very well because
Um,
I invest in
so I'm
people.
really happy to hear some of what you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also follow you, and you
Go
have a
ahead,
lot of
go ahead.
wisdom. Yeah, a lot of wisdom, and I hope I can stay there for long. Lots of times I'm taken away, but I come back again anyway. I will put it on because see, it's not in my control sometimes,
Yeah.
right? You got to go to the duty first. But lots of time I catch replays if I something very interesting going on. I know your talking about threads, I already joined. I also responded to your questions too. So I'm just uh, understanding conversational. I have a lot to converse if I want to. I'm happy if somebody wants to with me. I will be talking about lots of things, current affairs too, philosophical things and all that. Which is a very good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think threats will be here and now, and it's going to thrive, and it's going to
yeah,
be better than Twitter for sure. I think.
yeah. Well, Trend it seems to be pretty good. One of the fastest growing social media platforms.
Yeah.
In less than 24 hours, less than 48 hours, I think it would have already attracted over 30 million. I think they're bordering between 50 and 60 million
Hmm.
subscribers. So
I
that
think
tells
they
you a
have this
story.
advantage.
But
Instagram, right? They brought all those
mm,
people from there. That's also there. Yeah, very good.
yeah,
Yeah.
but for me, what I'm looking at, we have to ask ourselves: is it helping you
Hmm.
to increase your visibility? Is it helping you to increase your reach? Is it
Yeah.
helping you to create, make an impact? Is it
Yeah.
helping you to convert,
Yeah.
new clients? And while you have so much of social media platform, at the
Hmm.
end of the day, you want to be certain it is relevant to your business
Yeah.
objective.
Exactly.
You want to reach more people. You want to touch more lives.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's hard to manage all of these different social media platform.
Yeah.
Um, what the big influencers do, I mean, they're not managing these social media by themselves. They have a
Hmm.
5, 10 persons,
Yeah.
and those persons are doing all the social media optimization
Hmm.
for them.
Hmm.
So they could afford to spread themselves across the different social media platform.
Hmm.
So to optimize them, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't focus on them because these are new technology, and
Yeah.
in business you have to keep abreast of new technological development,
That's
because
for
if
sure.
your audience base goes across to those new technology and you're not there,
Yeah.
you lose them. All
Exactly.
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So as you have these new technology, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to start either building your team
Hmm.
or subcontracting social media management out to a competent group of people
Yeah.
that can help you to build your presence up there and manage it in a way to
Yeah.
ensure that it is working in your benefit.
I'm
Um,
talking to
but we
Rocky.
can talk.
I'm
Go
talking
ahead.
to Rocky, and she's going to. I'll be talking to her on Monday, 9 o'clock. But I'm going to teach her how to not to have brain fog, and also head to
Okay.
yoga for 5 minutes so that you will be easy to do that. But she's also going to help me with the social media. Yeah, as you said, I have to recognize there are experts to do the things that they can do, so that leave me alone for doing what I can do the best. That's my philosophy from the beginning anyway. So I kind of uh,
Exactly.
yeah, appreciate her help.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you too, Gary. I come to your rooms and I learn a lot about social media because it's new for us, especially my generation. Is really this is all pretty new for us. But I kind of made a lot of effort. I'm much better now than 2 years before. That kind of thing. I appreciate people like Gary who kind of spread their wisdom on social media and then helping us quite a lot. Thank you, Gary. Thanks for coming up and touching. I was also meaning to call you and talk to you, but I could not find the means and all that. I come to the rooms, but lots of times, as I said, I may be there, but I'm not really there sometimes. Okay. All right. I was going to close the room before Gary came, but I'm glad he has come and told me some things. I'll be going through his uh, sales book, which I got I think last week I didn't have the time, but I'm going to do that this weekend and communicate with him again. Thank you very much, and then thank you all, and I will see you back again tomorrow. Bye bye.